So hi all, hope you're well today. Let's do the chanting, utilizing our physicality or body and our speech to train our mind, to absorb our mind with the Dharma. So first we pay homage in Pali, and then we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the three jewels in Pali, and then in Sanskrit. Then we generate the bodhicitta by also taking refuge again, promising to practice the six paramitas, promising ourselves to practice the six paramitas and be of benefit to all living beings. Then the four immeasurable prayer, the immeasurables of love or loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity, and vowing that we will actually cause these ourselves, cause these sentient beings to be happy, and so on, and so forth. Then, of course, we take the four great vows of the Bodhisattva. And I must add as well that obviously the first two of the verses that we chant come from the Theravada tradition. The next one comes from Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition. Then the next three prayers, the Bodhicitta or generation of Bodhicitta, and the four immeasurables. And then I didn't say before the seven limb practice. They come from Tibetan or Vajrayana tradition. And then, of course, the four great vows of the Bodhisattva comes from the Chan or Zen tradition, and also practiced in China, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, and other places as well throughout history of Buddhism. And then, of course, we chant very briefly the mantras, the Great Compassion Mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, to absorb our mind with compassion. And then also the Tayata Ungate Gate, Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha mantra, which is the mantra from the heart of the perfection of wisdom scripture, and therefore absorbing our mind with more and more wisdom. Okay, so we do the chanting, like I said, we use our body, use our speech to train the mind, to absorb the mind with the Dharma. So we hear what we're chanting, study, we know about it. Three wisdom tools coming into play again. We contemplate in our own time what it is we're actually saying, what the meaning is, and then, of course, absorb the mind with it there as well. Of course, firstly, we're absorbing the mind by utilizing this physicality that we have. All right, so now we will just do the chanting, and then we will have some meditation practice. No show and tell today. I decided that I wanted to get into this contemplation on the law of karma more so today, get as much done as possible, and then probably 2 more weeks after that, before we move on to the contemplation on the unsatisfactory nature of cyclic existence, of which I had a look at last week, or thought about, I should say, last week, and I wrote myself a bunch of notes. So I will speak for a few weeks on that as well. Okay, and that will have covered the 4 preliminary contemplations that enable us or help to enable us to realize true renunciation and therefore move on to true bodhicitta, absorbing the mind with that, a path of accumulation we go through, into the path of preparation, preparing our mind to understand the nature of reality, and then absorbing our mind with the nature of reality, or realizing it, I should say, and then absorbing our mind with it. And then, of course, we do perfect the perfection of wisdom because we caused it and we uncovered it. You know, we got rid of all of our mental afflictions at that stage, at that time. Okay. So let's do the chanting. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Dutayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami, Tatayambi Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Tatayambi Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Tatayambi Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginning was time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhiso. Tayata Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhisoha. Tayata Gate Gate Para Samgate Bodhisoha. So now bring your mind inside your body, or first of all, get comfortable physically if you're not already. Nice posture for yourself, nice and relaxed. Upright if possible. Or if you do have to lean, don't lean with your mind. Okay? If you have a bad back or something like that, you have to lean on the back of the chair or on a bed. It's no problem. But like I said, don't lean with your mind. Keep the mind upright. Keep the mind stable, bright, flexible, humble, and so on. Gently close your eyes and bring your mind inside your body. And we will release the tension from the bottom of the body to the top. So release the tension from all around your feet, the bottom of your feet, the toes as well, top of your feet, around the ankles. Your lower leg, all around your knees. And your upper leg. Around your midsection. And above your midsection, your lower back, and above your hips and stomach. And further up your torso as well. Center of your back, so on. And your upper back. Pay particular attention to the rhomboid muscles that are in between the spine and the shoulder blades. Tend to carry a lot of stress in this area, as well as the upper trap muscles that run between the neck and the shoulders. So releasing the tension from all around your upper back, under your arms, your chest. And all around your neck as well. down to your shoulders, your upper arm or arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, and thumbs. Then back to your neck, front of your neck and sides and the back of your neck, releasing the tension. And up the back of your head, and the sides of your head, around your ears and temples. And also from all around your face. Make sure that you're not frowning, you're not stressing your face out, the jaw is not clenching. Nice and relaxed all around your face. And finally, the crown of your head. And now once again, scan your whole body from the bottom to the top, just to see if there's any leftover tension that you can release. And if there is, do so. Now bring your mind to the tip of your nose, and we will follow the feeling of the breath as we breathe in the nose all the way into the lungs. So past your throat, it's quite cool, past the chest area, into your lungs. They expand as they fill with the air, and then they compress as you breathe out. And the air is quite warm as it passes your throat on the way out your nose. Breathing in, breathing out. That's all we have to do physically apart from sitting here. And focusing on the breath is all we have to do mentally, unless, of course, the mind wanders from the breath, and then we apply the antidote of replacing the mind onto the breath. So breathing in, breathing out. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths to help you keep focused on the breath. One in-breath and one out-breath is one, and so on. Don't count past 10, though. And if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts arise, don't follow them. Don't make a story inside your mind. Write a film script or something. Don't cling to the thoughts or any mental activities. Don't grasp at them. Also, don't try to forcefully push them away either. And don't deny them, but recognize them with awareness, and then conscientiously let them go by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind starts to become dull or slothful, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on the breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves for engaging in the practice of breath meditation, trying to develop or working our way towards developing one-pointed concentration. And now fill ourselves with friendship, with universal loving kindness. Or another way to put it is we extend or radiate this loving kindness to ourselves. To fill yourself with the universal loving kindness in the form of the white light or nectar. Really appreciate yourself. Respect yourself. Be grateful towards yourself. Be your best friend. Fill yourself with so much appreciation and loving kindness now that it now overflows and radiates outwards. Initially to our loved ones, family, and friends, and fills them with the universal loving kindness too. Now on to strangers, those people that you're indifferent towards, don't have attachment for or aversion for. Fill them with the universal loving kindness as well. And also those you may regard as enemies, fill them with the universal loving kindness too. And wish that all of these three different types of people from your own perspective are happy and engage only in the causes of happiness. That they are free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering. That they are peaceful. So now let's radiate this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise and to all living beings now. Initially around your immediate area, all the living beings that live on the land, even under the land, in the waters, fly through the air, whether born from wombs or eggs or moisture or through transformation. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, and born or to be born. May they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And may we all work our way towards realizing our true enlightened nature. Now radiate the loving kindness throughout your whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout your country. To all the sentient beings, whether you know about them or not, whether you like them or not, whether they're in this realm or the animal realm or other realms of existence. Still extend this loving kindness out to all living beings. Now throughout other countries, all of the countries throughout the world, and throughout all of the oceans, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And also throughout the whole solar system and the whole galaxy and the universe and beyond. Until your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space without limit, immeasurable loving kindness. And now we will recite the dedication prayer before the Dharma talk. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of Shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And so, like I mentioned, we'll continue to contemplate on karma, or the universal law of karma, which includes vipaka, which means the result of the karma. or the fruit of the karma, or cause and effect is probably the most commonly way of expressing this in English. All right, so I'll read to you. I won't do the whole thing. We just do it in parts as we go along, contemplating it, utilizing our wisdom of hearing, utilizing our wisdom of contemplation, and utilizing our wisdom of meditation or absorption. And so the first part, we just went through 2 paragraphs last week, which I will read to you. I may add a few things here and there, like I mentioned, if I think it needs explanation more, to give you something to mentally chew on later on. All right, so contemplation on karma. Oh, by the way, you can listen to last week's class or view it if you want the whole entire article read in the one go, okay? Or apart from that, you can maybe scroll, I don't know, back 10 days or so on Facebook, and you can print yourself out a copy. Or you can find it in other ways too. I'm sure this is different parts of the social media world, okay? So this article. All right, contemplation on karma. The Buddhist belief in the universal law of karma is a view that has been thoroughly checked and analyzed by great practitioners and realized masters since the time of the Buddha. So for more than 2,600 years, and prior to that, actually, of course, the Buddha learned it from his teachers as when he was a bodhisattva, and beginningless time. Thoroughly checked and analyzed. Can't be proven wrong, you could say. Or if we can prove it wrong, okay, then we have to change our belief. That's what the Dalai Lama said many, many years ago when I attended one of his Dharma talks. I think it was in Australia, actually. He actually said something like, if you prove the Buddha's teachings incorrect, you have to believe something else. You can't believe that anymore. He was talking about Buddhist cosmology, which relates to the pre-Buddhist time as well, utilizing Mount Sumeru and so on. Okay, all right, I digressed. Conviction in its validity is gained through logical reasoning. It should not simply be followed blindly. Karma means action or cause. Any action of body, speech, and mind places an imprint, an energy potential or seed in the mind. Mental seeds are planted through your awareness of what you do, say, or think. The imprints of these actions are left on the mind stream and carried on moment by moment, with the present moment of mind coming from the previous moment of mind. So now, whatever you remember of that, close your eyes, contemplate it just very briefly, and then absorb your mind with it. You did it last week, so you shouldn't be too hard for you. So every moment we experience comes from previous moments, leads to subsequent moments. Everything we experience, we have caused. So every action of your mind, of your body, of your speech, kind of leaves, you could say metaphorically, an imprint or an energy potential or seed in the mind that will ripen in due course. So now back to the wisdom of hearing, and we'll basically go about this one paragraph at a time. Like I said, I wanted to get a fair bit of this done today, at least half of it or something. So we still have, I think, about another 15 minutes, which is good. When the necessary supporting conditions are in place, this imprint or latent potency manifests as perceptions or experiences of happiness or suffering. We can liken this to a biological seed, which ripens when contributing causes and conditions of water, soil, sun, and the like are gathered together. So now you can contemplate this while also utilizing the wisdom of hearing as well, because I'll add a little bit to this. So you can say the effects of the karma results in perceptions ways of thinking, habitual tendencies. You could say our character, personality traits, element from the past, bringing it into the present, experiences of happiness or suffering, depending on what type of karma or karmas are ripening at that time. If you plant a good seed, very healthy fruit or vegetable, look after it well, it results in good, tasty, nutritional fruits or vegetables. But if you plant a seed that is from a poisonous plant, then that's what you will get, poison. Or you plant seeds from weeds, that's what you will get, the weeds. So briefly absorbing your mind with this understanding, of which I'm sure that you have already to different degrees. And I think the next paragraph, back to the wisdom of hearing, I think the next paragraph I've started to cover already. But excuse me, there are three types of action: virtuous, non-virtuous, and neutral. With virtuous actions, the karma ripens as something desirable, a feeling of pleasure in the short term, and ultimately protects you from suffering. It's a good point. With non-virtuous actions, the karma ripens as something undesirable, a feeling of suffering and pain. With neutral actions, the karma is neither virtuous nor non-virtuous, and ripens as something neither desirable nor undesirable. I'll add a footnote there, that karma is created in our intentions, in the mind, or with our intentions. Okay, so now contemplate this, the virtuous, non-virtuous, and neutral actions bring their results in like manner. Well, the results are the same, basically. They match the action. So now we can come back to my voice. It may be helpful when you're utilizing the wisdom of hearing. You can open your eyes at that time. That gives you a little bit of a difference, to close eyes then when you're contemplating and absorbing the mind. Maybe that's helpful. Just a little point, okay? We should thoroughly contemplate well upon the virtuous and non-virtuous actions and their results, so that we ourselves act properly in regards to what to do, what not to do, what to adopt, and what to abandon, what to pick up or what to put down. So now you can contemplate on this, and I will add a few words to it. I think by now, mostly you know what to do, what not to do. Engage in virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. Avoid engaging in non-virtuous actions of body, speech, and mind. Make your mind meaningful, or your life meaningful, I should say. Remember that we contemplated the preciousness of this human life, the opportunities that we have, the good conditions to practice, the impermanent nature of our life as well, and all things. Now, of course, we're talking about the cause and effect. How to cause happiness for yourself, how to avoid causing suffering, how to work our way towards enlightenment. So absorb your mind with this. And now we will break it up a little bit here and there, okay? By the way, the initial point notes that I made for classes, which eventually turned into this article a few years ago, I got a lot of the notes, or a lot of the teachings from what we call the Abhidhamma Kosha by Master Vasubandhu. Okay, he was Theravada monk, but in China. He was the brother of Arya Asanga. Okay, and if you want to look up the names, you can. So Master Vasubandhu, Abhidhamma Kosha is kind of like an expansion on the Abhidhamma by the Buddha, at the Buddha's time. So Kosha means like a place of abode. So Abhidhamma Kosha means like the house of the higher knowledge, because the Abhidhamma really means higher knowledge. Okay. So it is said there are 4 laws of karma. Karma is fixed. Virtuous or good actions must cause pleasure. Non-virtuous or harmful actions must cause suffering. And I will add to that right now. How can it be any other way? And I use a bit of humor, and most of you will know this. I read something where somebody was sort of saying, putting Buddhism down and the law of karma down, saying, oh, I got told that if you kill a dog in this life, you'll be born as a dog in the next life. It's not black and white like that. It's mixed. We're creating karma all the time, all different types of karmas. So if it was like that, I would say to that person, so kill a king. Then you'd be born as a king next life. Kill a god if you want to go to the heavens. So you get born in the heavens. It's not like that at all. Okay, so good actions will bring good results. Bad actions will bring bad results. It's fixed like that. Even though that word fixed, don't get attached to that. Don't get fixed to that, because karma is fluid, actually. Number 2, karma expands. As with biological seeds, results are vastly greater than the causes. So you plant the seed in your mind, then you will experience the result much larger. The longer it's in your mind, the longer it's left there, unpurified. If you purify, it's different, okay? If you engage in good actions that counteract that negative karma, that's very good, okay? Best to avoid creating the bad karma in the first place, though. Prevention is better than looking for a cure, to use a metaphor. Number 3, karma not committed cannot produce a result. And I've given on a positive slant, the example. We cannot expect the results of the benefits of meditation, for example, if we don't create the causes by practicing meditation. So looking at it from this point of view, if you practice meditation, then you are developing this good concentration. The effect of your practice will be that your concentration improves onwards. But if we engage in negative action, now I'll look at it from the negative point. Let's say you get used to killing, and this is what you're doing all the time. Then obviously the results from that will be very bad. But if you avoid doing these types of bad actions, then you will not experience the results of them. So that's the third part. Number 4, karma, when committed, must produce a result. So you can't hide away from the karma and just forget about it. You think it's not going to creep up on you, unless, like I said, you purify. Once created, karma will not simply disappear. It remains in the mind stream and will ripen in due time unless purified. So now contemplate on this teaching. And I will briefly read it again as you contemplate. When you come to some good understanding, and in your own time, you make up your mind when that is, then you absorb your mind with it. So the 4 laws of karma. Karma is fixed. Virtuous or good actions will cause pleasure. Non-virtuous and harmful actions will cause suffering. Also, karma expands. The results are bigger than the causes. if they're left in the mind stream before ripening. You cannot experience, or you cannot expect to experience a result or an effect if you have not engaged in the cause. And the last one is karma, when committed, will produce a result unless it's purified. So like I said, absorb in your mind. Now back to the wisdom of hearing. This is a short paragraph. The last one was quite long. The subtle working of karma and its consequences are deeply hidden phenomena, not knowable to the ordinary mind. We must receive, or we need to receive, teachings from unmistaken and authentic, learned and highly realized sources to gain genuine understanding into this subject. So we may be able to understand the law of karma now on a surface level, or maybe even a little bit deeper than that, or a lot deeper than that. But to be able to get to realize the very subtle workings, moment to moment, then we really need to, first of all, have good teachings, good teachers, then put the teachings into practice, such as the meditation practice and so on, and clear your mind. The more your mind is clear, not sleepy now, but clear, then the more we can utilize our ability to investigate and analyze, and therefore create some understanding and wisdom for this particular subject, for instance. So I think maybe we heard and contemplated and already absorbed the mind with that one, because it's quite simple. It's simple that it's not simple. Actually, it's very simple. We're the ones that complicate everything through creating karma and acting upon our mental afflictions and everything. The ultimate truth actually is very clear. So the next bit, I think maybe this is the last one for the day. There are two most basic types of karma. One, movement of the mind, which is mental karma. And two, what it motivates, actions of body and speech, or movement of the mind and what it brings,